Okay, today I'm going to make homemade pizza. So you put a 1 1/4 cups of warm water, not too hot, into a bowl. 1 packet of yeast. This one doesn't want to open today. This is fast rapid rise instant yeast. And then we want to go ahead and add about 3 teaspoons of granulated sugar. You can use any kind you want. This helps the yeast start up, and then we're going to leave it for about 10 or 15 minutes after we whisk it up here. And we'll leave that for about 10 to 15 minutes. And we're going to cover it with plastic. If you want to make it go faster, you can put it out in the sun on the deck or something like that, but in no hurry. So this is how we start our crust. So now we let the yeast sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. 10 to 15 is good. Put it in the sun so it's you can see now that it's puffed up and it's activated. I'm just going to whisk it real quick here. I'm going to slowly pour in the half of the flour, 3 1/2 cups. Okay. And then I put in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. You can use oregano or whatever you want. That's good enough. Then some onion powder, about 1/2 teaspoon. Garlic salt, about 1/2 teaspoon. Now I know I don't use measurements because I haven't used that in years. I just kind of generally know what I'm putting in there. About, I'm going to put a little bit of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Give it a little bite. About a 1/4 teaspoon. And I'm going to use about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Alright, so now we're going to mix this up. And we're going to add in more flour. And the problem with this, it's kind of messy making pizza dough, but oh well, you like it. Then I'm going to add in the rest of the flour. And we'll just mix this up until it turns doughy. So we're going to get out our hands and we're just going to start mixing it. Kind of twist it like this with both your fingers. Scrape it outside the pan. Just get it mixed really good. If it's too dry, just add a little more olive oil. You don't want your pizza dough to be too moist, otherwise it'll stick to everything and you'll have to flour it more. You just kind of work it in. Okay, so I'm just going to let it, I'm going to ball it up real quick here, and I'm going to let it just rise up in the sun for about 20 minutes, and then we'll knead it down and one time, and then we'll let it set again and raise up one more time. Then we'll be using it for making the pizza. Yeah, it's a little too dry, so I'm going to put in just a little more olive oil. And guess what? When you do that, it makes it so it doesn't stick to your fingers. So there's a little more olive oil to mix it in. Do whatever you gotta do to get it mixed up. You can make your pizza dough just about any way you want. But this is generally how I make mine. A lot of people don't even add the seasoning in, they just leave it bland. Just salt, pepper. And we'll put some pepper on it. Now this is just, I'm gonna put some pepper on it. Okay. So now we mixed it up real good. Just cover it again. I'm gonna put it in the sun. And in about 20 minutes, I'll go look at it and it'll be raised up towards the pan, and then I'll go ahead and heat it down again and let it ride again. So while we're waiting on the pizza dough, I've got some hamburger I'm gonna cook, and Italian sausage. I only use this brand. So we're gonna cook up half of this to put on top of the pizza since it's already cooked. The other half I'll freeze for another pizza later. I guess this is about what, 24 ounces, so that's 12 ounces of Italian sausage that's going to go on this. And we'll just break it up in little bits. That way when we fry it, it'll be in chunks already. I'm just put it on low and cook it that way. I'll cook the hamburger with it. This will be a topping, one of the meat toppings we'll put on it. And when it starts to cook, I'm going to throw onions and green bell pepper in here that's chopped up. Because I like mine a little bit cooked. I don't like just roast them on the pizza. It's just too raw for me. Alright, so we're just going to cover this and simmer it. And we'll save the other half. So I've salt and peppered this and broken up the hamburger. And now we're going to add in, it's starting to brown, we're going to start adding in the onions and the green bell peppers. Mix it up, get them in the pan, mix with the meat. This is other flavor. Of course I did salt and pepper this. Salt and pepper. Kind of break up the meat as it cooks. So we got little pieces. We'll just cover it and cook that down. So while we're cooking this, we're now going to add in the thick sliced bacon. We're just going to cut little chunks. It's not good. Because you want to pre-cook it a little bit on your bacon so it'll turn out really crispy. Otherwise you kind of get this really soggy, undercooked bacon when you go to bake it. And yes, this is a meat lover's pizza deluxe. I'll break the bacon up so it doesn't stick all together. Okay, well, we're waiting for this to cook down. I'm just going to go ahead and open up this. You can see it's puffed up now. Really good. Knock it down one more time. It's looking pretty good. You notice it kind of soaked up a lot of that loose flour. And we'll just put it back in the sun. Cover it, put it back in the sun, and we'll wait a little while until we get. Then we'll go ahead and start making the. Okay, here we go. It's all risen up. Now I greased this pan right here. I'm just going to pull it out. We're going to do this the easy way. I'm not going to bother to roll it. I'm just going to push it out into the pan. Just sort of work your way. Just get this out of the way. Work your way, pushing up the pizza dough in the pan. It's easy to do if you've done it right. Don't really need to roll it. It'll work it too much and it'll make it too hard, the crust. Just go around, just rotate it. Just do this with your fingers. Doesn't have to be perfect unless you're in some competition or something. Just keep going around until I get where I want it. Alright. Now, I'm going to use Alfredo sauce instead of pizza sauce. But if you're going to make pizza sauce, it's a 6-ounce tomato paste and 2 cans of 8-ounce of tomato sauce. So if you, and with some sugar and oregano and Italian seasoning. So if you're going to make your own pizza sauce, that's how you make it. And I think I did that already in my previous video about making a pizza pie. So I'm going to be generous with the Alfredo sauce. I like the Alfredo sauce better on my pizza than I do pizza sauce, to be honest with you. Especially if I want to eat something at night, because the tomato sauce just rips my stomach up at nighttime. Just give it a healthy, good coating of sauce. I'm going to try to get it all on there. I'm cheap. I don't like to waste sauce. Alrighty. Let's see if I can scrape some back in. That goes in the pan. That wasn't good, was it? Okay. Now we're going to put on the mozzarella cheese. So let's see if I can open a package by myself. Hey, what do you know? By hand, just grab a bunch. Just coat it gently. Piece over there. I like to use the bigger mozzarella pieces. I don't like the little stuff that they sell. And you put as much mozzarella on it as you want. Okay, now comes the easy part. Got some pepperoni. I'm going to dress it up with pepperoni first. Now this is my Meat Lover Supreme Pizza, so I hope you like it. Basically, we're just going to cover this whole thing with meat and put it in the oven. It's going to be delicious. A couple more slices here. What do you think? Try getting that much. Try getting that much pepperoni on there. And then I've got some brats, 2 Johnsonville brats that I cut up, some sweet red cherry pepper, some green onions. Just going to dump them on there. Spread them out. The sweet cherry peppers, they're really good roasted, I'm telling you. You can't beat that. Just makes the pizza all that much better. Okay. Now, I'm only going to use half of what cooked up because the other half is going to go into the freezer to be used again. So we got our Italian sausage, our hamburger, and our bacon. Try to keep it falling off the edges so you can work it in the center. Makes it the easiest way to do this. That way you can work your stuff. Now this has the onions and the stuff on it. Yeah, we'll save the other half for the pizza maybe this weekend. If you like a Meat Lover's Supreme Pizza, this is your pizza. I'm going to kind of move the stuff around here. Okay, so we're ready for the oven. So if you want to, you can just kind of push this stuff out and it'll kind of go out. Just kind of push it. Alright, so we're ready for the oven. We're going to put it on 325 for about 20 minutes. One thing you'll notice is that the bacon got cooked perfect almost. There's pieces over here. Looks perfect. The hamburger and the Italian sausage turned out great too. And about 25 minutes out of the oven. Here you go. This Meat Lover's Pizza. Yeah, it's going to be messy. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut this up and you can all enjoy looking at the picture for a few minutes.